Hey guys, let's get more news from Miami Heat, but first, don't forget to subscribe to the channel and leave your like. Miami Heat urged to trade for $158 million star who fits Bam Adebayo timeline. The Miami Heat already are in some dire straits and the NBA playoffs are only 3 days old. There's still time, but the Celtics delivered a humbling 20-point drubbing in Game 1 in Boston, and did so by burying the Heat under a wave of three-pointers. The Heat's defense was stretched too thin trying to defend the arc. Boston tied a franchise high with 22 makes from the three-point line, and there was not much evidence that the Heat can slow the Celtics' high-powered offense. Oh, and Jimmy Butler is all but certain to miss the entire playoff series with a knee injury, yet another hindrance for the already hobbled Heat offense. Should the Heat bow out of the playoffs in the first round this year, after last season's magical run from the play-in to the NBA Finals, it might finally be time for President Pat Riley to get serious about changing the star landscape of the team. The Butler Bam Adebayo Tyler Herro trio may well have gone as far as it can go. As ESPN's Adrian Wojnarowski said recently, I think Miami will be in a position again to use the assets they have to go out and get another all-star level player that maybe connects more on the timeline of Bam Adebayo and his age. At Bleacher Report, they're suggesting adding a new star to the mix, a player who is on the same career trajectory as Adebayo, who needs to take the reins as the team's future cornerstone. That player, Pelicans star Brandon Ingram. Ingram is a player with star ability, who has put up one all-star season, in his first season with the Pelicans back in 2019-20, when he was one of the main pieces the Lakers traded to New Orleans for Anthony Davis. But since then, Ingram has struggled to stay healthy, missing nearly 30% of the Pelicans' games in that time, 225 out of 318 games. After averaging a career-high 24.7 points last year, he dropped to 20.8 points this year. But that, according to B/R's Zach Buckley, should only help the case. The Miami Heat have limited assets available, and trading for a dented can like Ingram, and hoping he can stay healthy, might be their best course of action. The fact Ingram isn't a top-tier star also likely helps the Heat, who aren't overloaded with trade assets. They should have enough for him, though, especially if there are fans of Tyler Herro in the Pelicans front office. A package of Herro, a young player, Nikola Jovic or Jamie Jaquez Jr., and an unprotected future first-round pick should at least merit a callback, he wrote. It's a lot to shell out for Ingram, if the Miami Heat are not certain he will stay healthy. But if they are willing to take the gamble, Ingram could be the versatile scoring wing the Heat have been looking for. He is not a natural power forward, but with Adebayo manning the inside, Ingram could certainly handle some minutes at the 4. He is 6'8", after all. One issue for the Heat, though, is what they may have to shell out for Ingram in an extension or a new contract. He is signed in 2024-25 for $36 million, the final year of a 5-year, $158 million contract he signed in 2020. While Ingram has been eligible for a 3-year, $147 million extension this year, he and the Pels have had no discussions on a new deal. The Heat might be inclined to wait until 2025 free agency to secure Ingram, should they deal for him. And a deal makes some sense. As Buckley wrote, he's the same age as Adebayo, 26, and he's a skilled enough scorer and secondary playmaker to get Miami's offense, which ranked 21st in efficiency, out of the mud. He could conceivably become available if an early playoff exit propels the Pelicans to rethink the Ingram-Zion Williamson tandem. Jimmy Butler trolls Celtics after Game 2 win, "Don't let us get one." Jimmy Butler is not physically present on the court due to an MCL injury, but his Heat teammates have embodied his spirit through the first 2 playoff games against the Celtics. Like a proud papa, Butler watched from afar as Miami stunned Boston 111-101 Wednesday to steal home court advantage. After the win, Butler seized the opportunity to troll the Celtics via social media. The "Don't let us get one" quote was a nod to Jaylen Brown's comments after the Celtics fell 3-0 in last year's Eastern Conference Finals against the Heat. Brown's quote almost proved prophetic as the Celtics won 3 in a row to force a Game 7 before eventually falling to Butler and company. Butler's troll job was so excellent he even photoshopped himself in Brown's Celtics number 7 jersey. Unfortunately for the Heat, Butler is unlikely to return to the lineup at any point during the series against his arch-rivals. According to NBA insider Shams Charania, Butler's rehab is expected to last at least 1 month and he wouldn't be able to recover in time to face Boston. That said, Butler could eventually rejoin his teammates if they pull off the upset of the century by defeating the 64-win juggernaut Celtics. They do have the experience of upsetting the apple cart. A year ago, they stunned the 58-win number 1 seed Bucks in the first round of the playoffs. Butler averaged 26.9 points, 6.5 rebounds, 5.9 assists, and 1.8 steals during Miami's miraculous run to the NBA Finals last year. It's rather amazing that the Heat are alive and well in this year's postseason without their best player and emotional leader. Tyler Herro reveals text from Jimmy Butler-inspired Game 2 win. Tyler Herro had the best game of his pro career Wednesday as he logged 24 points and 14 assists in Miami's 111-101 win over Boston. After the game, Herro credited his performance to a text message he received from Jimmy Butler, who remains sidelined with an MCL injury. "JB texted me to take the team and lead these guys," Herro revealed. He said, "Just make every right play. It's not all about scoring, in the playoffs you gotta make the right play. Our guys showed up tonight, Caleb Martin, Nikola, Jovic, Jamie, Jaquez Jr., everybody came to play. We lost bad in Game 1 and everybody responded. That's all you can ask for from a group of guys." The camaraderie between Butler and Herro bodes well for the future of the Heat organization. After Miami lost the first play-in game to Philadelphia last week, there was a rumor that Herro and Butler had to be separated on the team bus after an argument ensued between the two. Herro and Butler have seemingly moved past the incident, which has yet to be verified by the franchise. Herro's heroics Wednesday likely made some gutsy bettors a ton of money. That's because Miami was a whopping -14.5 underdog going into Game 2 against a juggernaut Boston team that won 37 of its 41 regular season games at home. After the Celtics steamrolled the Heat 114-94 in Game 1, it was widely predicted that Jason Tatum and company would sweep their arch-rivals, especially due to Butler's absence. Did Herro and the Heat unlock the formula to beat the Celtics on Wednesday? It was evident they ran Joe Mazzulla's team off the perimeter and forced them to make tough, contested shots against their zone defense. Furthermore, Erik Spoelstra's squad gave the Celtics, the best three-point shooting team in the NBA, a taste of their own medicine by making a franchise-high 23 threes. After the win, Charles Barkley couldn't stop raving about Spoelstra's coaching job. "He got these guys believing that they can win," Barkley said of Spoelstra on Inside the NBA on TNT. "The number 2 thing a coach does for you is he puts you in positions to be successful. But the number 1 thing is he gives you confidence." And his game plan worked. Shaquille O'Neal goes viral after perfect Heat Celtics Game 2 prediction, Shaqstradamus. Shaquille O'Neal is a rich man, but he just got a little richer after Game 2 of the first-round series between two of his former teams, the Miami Heat and the Boston Celtics, Wednesday night. Before the game, Shaq predicted that Miami would beat Boston by 10 points and made a bet on it against Charles Barkley. At the half, the legendary NBA big man doubled his wager, and that ended up as a great business decision because the Heat stunned Boston in Beantown, 111-101, just like how Shaq called it. The Heat were around 14-point underdogs entering Wednesday's game. They were blown out by the Celtics in Game 1 by 20 points, 114-94, and they were also still missing their leader and best player this season, Jimmy Butler, because of a lower body injury. Most signs point to another big Celtics win in Game 2, hence the wide betting spread. However, the Heat proved once again that they are a team that's simply hard to kill in the playoffs. Even without Butler, Miami operated fearlessly on the floor. Tyler Herro bounced back from a poor performance in the series opener and generated a total of 24 points in Game 2 while shooting 7-13 from the field and making all of his 4 attempts from behind the arc. In addition to that, Herro dished out 14 dimes to sustain the rhythm of Miami's offense even when he's not scoring. And you fan, what do you think of the Shaquille O'Neal situation? Leave your opinion in the comments.